back with more Buffy. This is episode 4 of season 4, and I'm really excited to get back into this season. It's been a tiny bit of a break, because obviously I did 2 episodes of Angel previously, but now we have Buffy again, and the next reaction in terms of Buffyverse will also be Buffy again, so very exciting. Can't wait to carry on, see what's going to happen next. Last episode was awesome, because obviously Spike came back, which was an amazing surprise. And yeah, we had the whole thing about the ring and stuff like that, and yeah, very, very interesting stuff going on with that. I'm looking forward to seeing them kind of continue with this new season, and these new locations, these new characters, this new threat with like those guys with the guns. It's really, really exciting, and I'm looking forward to finding out what's going to happen next. So yeah, there's that. I don't know, I'm feeling especially grateful. I always feel grateful today. I mean, I always feel grateful about, you know, the community surrounding Buffyverse stuff, because I always get so excited to record and post these, because I've built such a lovely community with you guys over the last like year. Because it's nearly been a year since I started Buffy. Next month I think will be the 1 year anniversary, so there we are. But yeah, I'm feeling very grateful right now. I feel like I'm actually in a good place right now, which I haven't really felt in a couple of years, so that's kind of nice. So yeah, just want to thank you guys for taking the time to take 20-30 minutes out of your day whenever I upload one of these to watch it, or if you're watching this on Patreon, probably about an hour of your day, because obviously you'll be watching the whole thing with me and then my thoughts afterwards. It means so much. I'm feeling kind of, you know, very grateful as we approach like the 1 year of me starting Buffy, and here we are now. Who would have thought it? Juggling Buffy and Angel. I realised as well that once I finish this season of Buffy, I'm going to have to do a Buffy review and an Angel review at once. Like, my goodness, the notes I'm going to be making. Jeez, I feel bad for my hand already, but there we are. That's going to be quite a few months off yet anyway. So yeah, very, very excited to get back into Buffy, see what's going to happen next as we delve deeper into this season. I'm really, really excited. Very intriguing season so far, so can't wait to see where they're going to go next. Let's get into it.
And on that happy note,
Aww, I'm feeling nostalgic for Halloween episodes.
Halloween screening. I mean, I got better things to do than tag along to some fraternity.
You can come.
Okay, but only because I lied about having better things to do.
Xander's knee. Fuck.
She's still suffering a little post-Parker depression.
Bailing on the buff. Does anyone else want to smack that guy?
I love supportive friends. Just pretend he's a vampire and kill him. I won't tell anyone. Oh, fuck off. That's gonna be a Gander mask, isn't it?
Yeah. What the hell's wrong with you, lady?
Whoopsie.
That's what I'd like to know.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with you. You are an angel. You're a delight. An angel delight.
I'll know when I've reached my limit.
Wine coolers?
Magic.
Ooh, didn't encourage her, did you?
Where's supportive boyfriend guy?
Oh, he's picking up your dry cleaning, but he told me to tell you he's afraid you're gonna get hurt.
Oh.
Okay, prove this.
I won't lie about the fact that I worry. I know what it's like to have power you can't control. And every time I start to wolf out, I touch something. Deep, dark. It's not fun. But just know that whatever you decide, I'll back your play.
See? This orange boy is sweet boy.
I love them. Love them. Fuck you. I don't love you. You dick.
Doesn't care about Halloween.
Hello, Buffy.
Oh my god.
It's a sombrero.
And it's on your head.
Yes.
Seemed festive. Come in. Candy?
That's the scariest thing this show's ever done.
It's alive!
Oh my god.
You wanted a symbol to paint upstairs? Something mystical. Check this out.
Oh no. What's that gonna do?
It's those people. And you continue to associate with them, though you share little in common.
What are you talking about?
They are a wholesome squad of cinnamon
They go to
rolls.
college, you don't. They no longer live at home. You do.
You'll need a costume.
A costume?
Dress up.
You know, something scary.
Oh, scary.
Oh, God.
Scary how?
Anya, you, ex-demon, terrorized mankind for centuries. I'm sure you'll come up with something.
I feel like it's gonna be really shit. I'm excited.
Excuse me, Professor Welsh.
Oh, you seem like the kind of person who makes things really hard on themselves. Halloween isn't
That's
like
true.
responsibility.
Thanks for the pep talk, Coach.
Don't make fun. I work long and hard to get this pompous.
No, I mean it.
You're welcome.
Is this the next guy? Is this a new interest? I mean, I know he's been in it before, but...
Sensing a disturbance in the force, Master?
Man, that speaker's cracking a little bit. Cut myself. It's okay.
Play with knives? Fun. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yo, man, you bleed to death. I got dibs on your equipment.
Oh, no. No, thank you. Oh, fuck off. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's like nightmares all over again. The fucking puppet show. Do you remember that bastard?
Oh, your father loved to take you out. He was such a pain. 12 years old and I can't go trick-or-treating by myself.
He just wanted to keep you safe.
No, he wanted the candy. I was just the beard.
That's
me.
not true, actually. The candy was
Me
for
as a parent.
Your father loved spending time with you.
Not enough, I guess.
Aww.
Buffy, I didn't believe I could trust anyone again.
Aww.
It's taken time and a lot of effort, but I've got a nice circle of friends now.
Good for you. You deserve it.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still a little gun-shy. It certainly didn't help that my last boyfriend turned out to be a homicidal robot.
Oh my god, yeah.
I will
Fucking hell.
always
That's a
be
throwback.
with you.
Yeah, Buffy said she was coming, but I
Oh
haven't
my
seen her.
god.
We have to make sure she has fun.
Look at
Force
her.
fun upon her.
Knight of the Seven
And if
Kingdoms.
Parker shows up with...
Oh! Oh shit.
Insurance, you know, in case we get turned into our costumes again. I'm going for a cool secret agent guy.
That's smart. That is good thinking. I'd like...
I was almost burned at
I,
the stake.
if you got turned into a costume, it might go as God, and then you'd be like...
Relationship with God.
And you are? Of course. I wish I'd thought of that before I put down my deposit. I could have been God.
Well,
Blasphemer.
great minds? Fuck. That's really funny. Oh. Are these real guys, or...
Nice costumes.
On the plus side, think of the rave reviews this haunted house is gonna get. Maybe the webs are just Spider-Man. Get off my fucking cinnamon roll. The only time I'd ever touch a spider is if it was on Willow. I'd get that off her right away. Now you're just some bunny that I used to know. I wonder how she'll react to this kind of thing, like being like an ex-demon. Oh shit.
We just went in a circle.
This is her training when she played Daphne in the Scooby-Doo movies. Oh, fuck off with the eyeball. Ugh. Oh god, this is creepy. Oh,
Chaz, what happened here?
oh god, that's terrifying. Oh, I hate it. Kill it. Kill it with fire.
We need the only person that can make sense of what's happening.
Sombrero man. What does he look like? Oh man.
Well, let's be realistic here, okay? Your basic spells are usually only about 50-50.
Oh, yeah? Well,
Oh
so's
shit.
your face.
What?
Oh sweetheart.
Xander?
Funny how you still haven't lost your sense of inappropriate
Oh.
humor.
Oh shit.
Xander, where did you go?
Buffy, knock it off. This gets over. I'm right here.
This is so typical of him.
Typical.
Oh no.
Xander?
Buffy!
Is it because he's like being afraid of being like left out of things? 'Cause he's not like not in college and stuff like that. So it's like made him separate. Either way, I'm really liking Xander this season so far. Just putting that out there.
You guys are thinking clearly.
Oh shit.
Willow. Not good.
Change.
But...
Shit.
But I can do the guiding spell. I know I can make it work.
Will, please.
No.
No!
Oh!
Oz, don't leave me! Don't leave me!
Oh shit! Oh man, this episode's getting pretty deep.
Great. Now I just gotta live with the fact that
That's
no
not
one else
good.
can see me.
Fuck off, Ronald. Oh, my cinnamon roll. Oh, I want to give him a hug. I quite like this werewolf makeup. Oh, bless him, he's terrified. Oh. How they're not all in, like, weekly therapy is beyond me.
Lead me to Oz.
Oh.
Wait. I should try to find the people trapped upstairs first. Even if I get them, we still have to find a way out of
Oh,
the
shit.
house. Okay, here's what we should do. Hey! What's going on? Stop! Stop it!
So is this because she's afraid of her spells going wrong? Or her spell have actually just gone wrong? Oh. Oh shit! Just eat them all. Oh, it's horrifying. Ugh. Leave Red Riding Hood alone.
Create a door, you can do that?
I can.
Fair.
Couldn't breathe.
It's okay. It's okay. We're okay.
Will, give me something.
Oh, okay,
Oh my god.
Giles? Hey everyone, it's Giles. With a chainsaw. Glad you can make it.
The wall's closed up behind us.
It's kind of sweet how much Anya cares for Xander.
It can be shut down in one of two ways. Destroying the mark of Gaknar. Is not one of them, and will in fact immediately bring forth the fear demon itself.
Okay, that's quite funny. I mean, terrible. It's funny. Oh, hello. That's interesting. I like your horns. Oh.
This is Gaknar? I am the Dark Lord of Nightmares, the bringer of terror. Tremble
Step on him.
before me.
Who's a little fear
It's like
demon?
bark worse than its bite kind of thing. Oh dear.
Treats here, Giles.
Please, finish them.
This is much better. There's no problem knocking down my chocolate.
I think I'm gonna...
I like that not every creature they face has to have like this epic battle to defeat it. It's more a character study.
That's your scary costume.
Bunnies frighten me.
Oh, bloody hell, the inscription.
What's the matter?
Bloody hell.
I should have translated the Gaelic inscription under the illustration of Gaknar.
What's it say?
Actual size.
Oh. Oh, that's really good. Oh god. Oh, Halloween. Gotta love you. Okay, I love that episode. I thought that was so much fun. There's just something about the Halloween episodes, I think. I did prefer the Halloween episode in season 2, I won't lie, but I still really liked this one. I thought, it's just so much fun. I get so nostalgic when I think about Halloween. It's one of my absolute favourite episodes, so far, obviously. Just because that was the first episode that was like, damn, this is what Buffy can do. I mean, Prophecy Girl was fucking great as well, but there was just something about Halloween that I just really, really liked, and I think it just came at the right time in like the run of the show, and I just remember being so in love with that episode from beginning to end and just being really involved in it, and I felt that with this one too. I don't know. There's just something about Buffy and Halloween that just works. Yeah. I thought it's a lot to talk about, so... Whew, where to begin? Why don't I just go through the order that I've written them down? I don't know why I never just do that all the time, but there we are. I love that it was themed on Halloween. I don't think we had one last season, a Halloween episode. Did we? I don't think so. Maybe my memory's just gone. But, yeah, either way, I just love that they themed it around Halloween. I mean, you know, they did something different with like, the whole concept of it. Before, I think the focus was more on like the costumes. Now it was more focused on like the haunted house aspect of Halloween. Although you don't really get a lot of haunted houses in the UK or anything. There are some. There's like haunted house kind of rides at a theme park and stuff, but I've never actually been or seen an actual haunted like house that people have set up and stuff. So it's kind of cool seeing that come to life in this. Yeah. There's something about the Halloween episodes of Buffy that have been quite character study based and kind of revealing in that sense. Because like the last Halloween one introduced Ethan Rayne, didn't it? That was a big deal for Giles, and that kind of set up the Dark Age a couple of episodes later. Whereas this one, I feel like the villain obviously didn't have that kind of impact or staying power, but obviously it's kind of played for more as a joke, and it didn't need to be like a big powerful threat or anything, because I think what this episode wanted to do was, you know, develop their characters, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. So I'm completely fine with the way they handled the villain in this. I don't know if they just always planned for this to be the resolution, or they were just writing it and they came up with so much good material and they're like, oh shit, we only have like 3 minutes worth of stuff to write now. We can't really have like a big battle. Like, why don't we just make him like a tiny little fucker? But I love that. And then like the actual size joke at the end. Oh, that was brilliant. I just love that not every baddie needs to be like this really hard thing to defeat, and I like that the build-up was, you know, more powerful than the actual creature itself. I think it just, that kind of variety, and having like the weaker or more easily defeatable villains makes the really powerful ones all that more threatening when you actually watch them. And I like that there seems to be kind of a hierarchy and a balance to how powerful some of these things are, because you know that they can easily stop some creatures like this, some demons like this, and then others they really struggle with, and you can kind of appreciate, like, okay, this guy must really be tough, I should take this threat seriously. So that's something I think this episode has done very well, as an example of that. But it was definitely more kind of a character study, I think, which is why I actually really liked how they used the villain, Gatner, and played it off like a joke at the end. It's kind of like, I would call Gatner an online troll, because they spew all this fear and hatred out in your house, and then they turn out to be tiny, small, little, easily stopped fucker. So I think that's a perfect metaphor, so thank you, Gatner. I have found a new nickname for any mean commenters, so thank you for that. Another thing I love Halloween episodes for, there we are. So yeah, there was that. So I love the whole Halloween kind of thing. I love the concept of the haunted house, and that, you know, by coincidence and stuff, it kind of activated this summoning spell, which is what caused the house to become like an actual haunted house. I love that idea. I thought that was very clever. And I think they explored a lot of different aspects of that. They explored like physical threats as well, with like the eyeballs, and then that plastic skeleton thing coming to life. That was freaky as fuck. But then there was also like psychological horror in terms of, particularly with Oz, I really felt that, and him kind of turning against himself and stuff like that. I thought that was very well done. They explored loads of different aspects of how a haunted house could terrify you. I know I'd be awful in haunted houses. I get scared way too easily. So yeah, I loved all of that. And a few little things before I go into like, the individual characters, well, like the main characters. We've got a brief appearance from those guys with guns again. I believe they're like genuine article that we'd seen before, not just people in costumes. So they're still teasing that. I'm looking forward to finding out a bit more about that. Riley, he showed up. He seems like a nice guy. I'm sure we'll see more of him. I feel like they're setting him up to be like a new love interest for Buffy. So I have to see where they go with that. I like that they still kind of explored the aftermath of everything with Parker as well, and that was still very much in Buffy's mind. Because he's still very young, and those things would affect her even if she's like this all-powerful Slayer. So I really like that, because in a show like this, I think you could easily forget that Buffy was a young human girl who experiences ordinary feelings on top of everything that being a Slayer does in terms of responsibility. I think you could easily forget that and easily get away with it, but I like that the show always wants us to remember that Buffy's still just human and she still has these feelings and stuff, and I really like that because it makes her more relatable and makes her more likeable and lovable. And I would die for absolutely everyone in that haunted house. Well, in that group anyway. So I'd like to continue to explore like the after effects of what Parker kind of did, that prick. I hope he was at that party, and I hope he died horribly. So yeah, I liked that whole kind of concept. Who else? Oh, seeing Joyce briefly was really cool. I liked that. That was wholesome content with that scene. I personally feel very affected by that, having recently gone through the divorce of my parents. I really kind of appreciated Joyce's viewpoint on that, because that's something I've always kind of felt very guilty about myself. I'm going to stop because I'm going to start crying. But I thought it was great seeing Joyce again, because obviously with Buffy kind of moving out, there's not as much reason for Joyce to be around anymore, so I'm glad that they keep finding reasons to revisit her. And I really liked how Buffy was talking about her dad with Joyce. And it's very timely, obviously, because she just got let down by this guy with Parker, and I think she was talking about how her dad has kind of let her down in recent years as well, and that's kind of been a repeating theme for her, like even with Giles and Helpless last season. And maybe to an extent Angel, in a way. I don't think quite as much he let her down. I think she's kind of made peace with that a bit more. But that's a recurring theme with Buffy. So I'm glad they kind of addressed that. She got a chance to talk about that kind of thing with her mum. And I love that Joyce kind of referenced Ted in season 2. I think that was season 2, wasn't it? Yeah. I love that they have like little continuity references like that. I just think that's really cool. So I loved her showing up in a very, very wholesome scene. I'd like more of that. It really helped to kind of split up all the horrific antics throughout the episode as well. So that was cool. I've already lost track of all my notes. I'll talk about individual characters a bit more, but I loved that Giles and Anya kind of got paired together in like the second half of the episode. I thought that was really well done. I think they could be quite funny together, so hopefully we'll get a bit more of that. Because I know Anya's going to become a lot more of an important character, and I've already got that sense this season already, because obviously she's shown up a couple of times. So yeah, I liked the pairing of those two. I think that could be really funny, and I'm hoping we'll get a bit more of that. I feel like it could grow to be quite a wholesome pairing, kind of in a similar way. I don't know why I got the vibes from it, but I kind of felt similar about that pairing as I did with like Angel and Willow. I always found that like really wholesome, and like a nice kind of sort of friendship. And I feel like they could do that with Giles and Anya as well. I think that'd be really cool. And I think it's great that we brought Anya into this episode as like an ex-demon. And that meant she kind of wasn't really fazed by what she saw at the house. She was more fazed by the fact that Xander was in the house, and that's what kind of was, she was afraid of. That and bunnies, apparently. Okay. I kind of knew her costume was going to be a bit ridiculous. They kind of set that up, and yeah, that was funny. But Anya's growing on me quite a bit. I've never like disliked her. I've always found her quite interesting. but I think I'm getting a better sense of her now because she's starting to appear a bit more, and she does seem to genuinely care for Xander, which I actually find quite endearing, especially because I'm really liking Xander this season so far. So, am I in love with the pairing? Not yet, but I feel like I could be, so that's something. I'll give them that. I feel like they're going to explore that a bit more, so interesting. I've already mentioned Riley. Giles and the sombrero, I hope he never wears that again, but it was very funny, and I like that we kind of saw that more playful, happy side to him, and he was like, I actually really like Halloween. And then he turned badass with the chainsaw. Iconic. And how they set up earlier in the episode Oz being concerned about Willow's use of magic, and Buffy kind of had concerns too, and Willow was kind of standing up for herself, and then that came to play later on in the haunted house when the fears were realised. And in that same scene earlier, Oz was kind of worried for Willow because of his own experience being a werewolf and being unable to control that side of him. And obviously that came into play in a big way in the haunted house. And I like that we kind of used that concept of the haunted house and, you know, fears being needed to summon this demon. It just allowed for character studies for all these individual characters, which I really liked. And it revealed some very interesting, kind of endearing aspects to certain characters, I feel like. Because I think with Buffy, she didn't really face many personal fears, like, directly influencing herself in the house. But she kind of stopped being able to see Xander. Xander had left her. She was on her own. She heard Willow's cries for help. And she saw Oz being all scared and afraid in the corner. So I feel like a lot of her fears come from her friends being in trouble or her friends not being with her. And I actually think that's really sad and endearing at the same time. So I really liked that. That was wholesome in a way. And then I would have liked to have seen what Giles feared. That would have been kind of interesting. But that doesn't matter. And then Xander, we set that up as well, and then to start with his scene with Anya, when she was kind of saying, you know, why do you hang out with these people? You're not in college, you still live at home, they don't. You don't have a lot in common with them anymore. And they've kind of presented him as an outcast quite a bit this season. Sometimes just in like a jokey way, but it's still set up. And then this episode he just becomes invisible and they can't see or hear or acknowledge him. And that's kind of what he fears. I think he fears kind of being isolated and left out. So that's that isolation theme from last season's creeping in again. So I really liked that. He's kind of afraid of being on his own, which could be one of the reasons he kind of is willing to pursue Anya a bit more, because he didn't seem that interested in her at the start, but I feel like he has grown to care for her a bit more, at least. I wouldn't say he's head over heels for her yet, but we'll see where it goes. But yeah, I really liked that kind of aspect of it, and I like that they did show he has some genuine smarts when he dressed as James Bond, just in case the same thing happened again, where they became their costumes. I thought that was kind of funny. So yeah, I'm really liking Xander this season. I think he's just being written really well, and he's a lot more grown up, even though he hasn't gone to college. So I kind of like that. He's still growing up alongside the people that have gone to college. I like that a lot. So yeah, I liked what his fears were kind of saying about his character. And then Willow, my cinnamon roll. She kind of saw her spell go wrong. I don't know if it actually did just go horribly wrong, or if that's just the fear that it went wrong. But obviously she says a lot to learn about this whole magic thing, but I like that they are still kind of continuing to address her kind of becoming more of like a witch kind of thing. So that's been a thing since really like last season, or the end of season 2 even. So I like that they continue to kind of develop that storyline for her, because I think that's very interesting to see how much she's going to harness like witch powers and spells and stuff. And I like that it kind of showed just how worried other people are for her. I feel like that could be foreshadowing for like a spell going really, really badly wrong in future. We'll have to wait and see. But it is kind of nice that even though Willow may say like, oh, it's going to be fine, she does kind of... She had a bit of an argument with Buffy, and I feel like that may have come from them being afraid of falling out again, because they've had those kind of arguments before. And I was kind of watching it thinking, this argument seemed to have come a bit out of nowhere, they've just suddenly seemed to snap. But I feel like that could have been an effect of the house, just kind of exaggerating their fears of kind of falling out again. So I feel like that kind of played into it, but I liked that they're continuing to explore, like, Willow's not perfect yet. Mom, she's perfect in every other aspect, but in terms of, like, making spells and stuff, she still has a lot to learn. I like that they're still addressing that, and they're still kind of continuing that storyline, because I think that's really cool. And I think Willow was kind of just afraid of things going wrong, and that's why that presented itself to her. So she knows she still has a lot to learn. I think that's another reason why she would snap at Buffy and stuff, and she's just afraid for herself. But she doesn't want to admit that she's not ready yet. So I liked that aspect of it with her. But I think the one that really got to me the most was Oz. I just love that he's still afraid, even after all this time since season 2. He's still afraid of, like, this werewolf side to him, and he still can't properly control it, and he even scratched Willow in this episode, so that's going to be like, ooh. He probably feels really guilty about that. And yeah, he's just afraid of hurting Willow, that came out, and he's just afraid of himself when he is, you know, he has no control as this werewolf, and I really liked that. And I think what made it so effective is that Oz, as a character, he doesn't show a lot of emotion, like, outwardly, really. You know, he doesn't talk a lot, he like, makes, like, quippy lines and stuff. But he doesn't, like, we never see him, like, break down and cry or anything. Or show a lot of emotion on his face. And that's why I love him. And then here, we actually kind of saw a lot of that. We saw him be physically afraid, and we saw a lot of emotion come out of him. And I think because we're so used to not really getting that, whereas we've seen a bit more of emotion, I think, come from Xander and Willow and Buffy before, seeing that from him really kind of got to me and affected me. 'Cause I really love Oz. Shocking, I know. But it's nice to kind of add that extra layer to his character. And I feel like that's something this episode did really, really well, in exploring that fear that he still has of himself. So yeah, I really liked what that stood for, and just the whole idea of, like, being able to learn more about these people through a haunted house of all things. I just think it's such a Buffy thing to do, and I just love that. So yeah, great. I love this episode. You know, we didn't need it to be like an all-powerful villain. It was just kind of a catalyst for a character study, and I love character-driven stuff. It's my favourite thing about TV shows. So I am A-okay with that, and I just want every episode of Buffy to be a Halloween episode, because I just love them. Yeah, there was nostalgia there for, like, the last Halloween episode, which was like the first episode of Buffy I think I truly loved from start to finish. I'd liked many before, but that one was just... Ooh. So that makes me nostalgic. But then we had some really relatable kind of character moments and character studies. We learned a lot more about, like, the main cast. Giles and Anya were a great pair. They provided a lot of comic relief. The way Gatner was treated as, like, a joke near the end I thought was really funny. Joyce was wholesome, and that scene kind of spoke to me quite a lot on a personal level. They're re-examining the storyline with Willow's magic and Oz being a werewolf. And they really kind of highlighted just how much I like Xander this season as well, with his whole fear of kind of being left out and being invisible. And cause we had the whole thing with the Zeppo last season. He was, like, being left out of things, and he was afraid that he wasn't really adding anything to the group, and then it turned out not to be the case because he saved the world. And I like that they still kind of revisit that flaw to him, because obviously he's a very, very insecure person, but he doesn't like showing it. So I relate to that a lot. So I love that that was kind of put on display in this episode. And I'm actually really happy for him that he's found someone in Anya that genuinely cares for him, and she literally just put him first, because she only really cared that Xander was in trouble, not anyone else. So I'm kind of happy that he has that person in his life to do that. And hopefully he'll start to care for Anya as much as she cares for him, because I think it's definitely kind of a bit unbalanced right now, but we'll see where it goes. I'm excited to find out more about it. We even had, like, throwaway lines in this episode about Xander's uncle, like, smelling of peppermint and stuff, and seems like he loves some alcohol. And Xander has been known to have quite a troubled family, really, and sleeping outside on Christmas Eve. So the fact that he's kind of found someone that genuinely has affection for him, I think is actually very, very wholesome. So yeah, looking forward to seeing them explore that a bit more, hopefully. So yeah, loved everything about this episode. I absolutely adored it. Loved the character study it enabled us to go through. It was kind of creepy in parts. I think some of those things were genuinely quite creepy. I actually thought the special effects looked very good for the time. I liked the werewolf makeup we got. I don't think that was like fully transformed werewolf, but still I liked the way it looked. I thought the CGI on like the window shutting on that girl was actually very good when Anya showed up. But yeah, just a really fun episode. I just absolutely loved it. Loved me a good character study. So yeah, I feel like I've talked for years about this episode, but that's what happens when you give me all the good character stuff. So yeah, love this episode. Really, really enjoyed it, and can't wait to see when I'm going to take the season next. And my next Buffyverse reaction is going to be the next episode of Buffy. So get hyped. Hopefully it'll be another really great one like this, because I loved it. My throat is drying up because I've been talking for too long, so I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you very much for watching, and until my next reaction, thanks.